Do your thoughts ever feel like they're running your life, leaving you stuck in negativity? Here's the truth. Trying to control them only makes things worse. But what if there's a simple trick to stop the spiral and turn those thoughts into tools for clarity and growth? In this video, I'll show you how to take back control of your mind and emotions. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you can keep learning life-changing strategies for your mental and emotional health. The pushing versus pulling the rope metaphor. Have you ever tried pushing a rope? Sounds absurd, right? That's because ropes aren't made to be pushed. They're meant to be pulled. This simple concept mirrors how many of us handle our anxious thoughts. Instead of flowing with them, we push, wrestle, and struggle, only to find ourselves more tangled than before. Think of it this way. When you're trying to force your mind to stop thinking about a mistake, it's like pushing that rope uphill. The harder you push, the less progress you make. Imagine this. You're preparing for a presentation. You tell yourself not to think about failing. But what happens? Your brain doubles down, conjuring every failure scenario you'd rather forget. Why? Because our minds are like search engines. Type "don't think of failure," and it gives you every related result. What if, instead of fighting, you gently pulled your focus elsewhere, toward preparation, calm breathing, or even excitement for the opportunity ahead? The beauty of pulling lies in letting go of control. For instance, when a musician gets lost in their performance, they aren't pushing thoughts away. They're immersed in the rhythm. Likewise, navigating anxious moments means finding your rhythm instead of battling the noise. What if you could see your thoughts as part of the background rather than the star of the show? Now, this shift isn't about giving up. It's about working smarter, not harder. Much like how pulling the rope creates momentum, redirecting your mind creates space for clarity. Case study: the anxious ballerina. Picture this: a talented ballerina standing on the brink of greatness, yet paralyzed by her own mind. She's not just worried about her performance. She's spinning in a whirlwind of whats. What if she doesn't get the lead? What if a past mistake costs her the spotlight? Every dancer in her troupe becomes a mental chess piece as she meticulously analyzes their strengths and her flaws. Her mind, meant to guide her artistry, has become her greatest obstacle. This isn't just about ballet. It's about how overthinking infiltrates our lives. Imagine a student obsessing over a single bad grade, replaying the professor's feedback endlessly, or a professional second-guessing every word of an email they sent. The ballerina's story reflects a universal truth. The more we try to control our thoughts, the more they control us. Her constant rumination not only drained her energy, but also pulled her away from what truly mattered: her passion for dance and the joy it brought. The tipping point came when her anxiety became so overwhelming that she considered quitting ballet entirely. How often do we, too, let our overthinking push us toward giving up on something we love? The ballerina's journey is a mirror for anyone who's ever felt trapped in their own head. The effects of overthinking. Overthinking can feel like a mental treadmill. You're exhausted, but you're going nowhere. It starts innocently, with a small worry or a fleeting thought. Yet, before you know it, your mind has spiraled into every worst-case scenario imaginable. What does this accomplish? Often, it leads to nothing but stress, sleepless nights, and a deep sense of self-doubt. Overthinking isn't problem-solving. It's problem-multiplying. And worse, it pulls you away from living in the present. Think about this. You're replaying a conversation in your head, dissecting every word. What did they mean by that pause? Did you say something wrong? Hours later, the moment is long gone, but your mind is still stuck there. This relentless loop affects more than just your thoughts. It creeps into your emotions, leaving you feeling anxious, insecure, and even frustrated. Even your body feels the weight of overthinking. Headaches, muscle tension, and digestive issues are just a few of the ways your body signals. Enough? The problem with suppressing thoughts. Have you ever tried not to think about something? It's like telling yourself, "Don't think about pink elephants," What happens next? Pink elephants are all you can imagine. This is the trap of thought suppression, a strategy many of us turn to instinctively, but one that backfires almost every time. The more you push a thought away, the louder it echoes in your mind, demanding attention like a stubborn child. Suppression often feels like control, but it's really a battle you can't win. Imagine someone feeling anxious about an upcoming job interview. They tell themselves to stay positive and avoid all thoughts of failure. Yet, the fear lingers, amplified by their resistance. Their brain interprets these suppressed thoughts as threats, keeping them front and center. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Eventually, it pops back up, often with more force. So, if suppressing thoughts doesn't work, what's the alternative? The answer isn't to fight the mind, but to work with it. Introduction to the concept of cognitive diffusion ACT. Imagine standing in a busy train station, watching the trains rush by. Each train represents a thought, some fleeting, others persistent. Cognitive diffusion invites you to step back and simply observe the trains without feeling the need to board any of them. This is the essence of ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, separating yourself from your thoughts rather than being consumed by them. It's not about changing the thoughts. It's about changing how you relate to them. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that their thoughts define who they are. If you think, "I'm a failure," you might believe it's the absolute truth. Cognitive diffusion teaches you to reframe that thought as, "I'm having the thought that I'm a failure." Notice the difference? By adding that small phrase, you shift from being entangled in the thought to simply noticing it. Practical cognitive diffusion exercises. The beauty of cognitive diffusion lies in its simplicity, small shifts that yield profound results. Let's start with self-observation, a practice as straightforward as labeling your thoughts. Instead of saying, "I'm so stressed," try, "I'm noticing that I'm having a stressful thought." This creates a gap between you and the thought, giving you space to breathe. Another powerful tool is visualization. Picture yourself sitting in a cinema, watching your thoughts play out on a screen. Or imagine placing your thoughts on leaves floating down a stream, watching them drift away without resistance. Humor is another underrated ally in cognitive diffusion. Turn your thoughts into something ridiculous. For example, if you think, "I'll never succeed," imagine it being sung in a silly opera voice or delivered by a cartoon character. This lighthearted approach reduces the emotional weight of the thought, making it easier to disengage. Metaphors to understand cognitive diffusion. Metaphors have a unique power. They simplify complex ideas and make them stick. Imagine a chessboard. The pieces represent your thoughts. The pawns are small worries. The queen might be a major fear. Now, instead of seeing yourself as one of the pieces being moved around, see yourself as the board. You're the steady surface where all the moves happen, untouched by the game itself. Another metaphor to consider is the sports commentator. Picture your mind as an announcer narrating your every move. They're going to fail this presentation. It might sound convincing, but remember, the commentator isn't the event. It's just noise. Finally, there's the image of passengers on a bus. Each passenger represents a thought. Some are loud, some quiet, some helpful, and others disruptive. You're the driver. The importance of values in diffusion. Values act like a compass, pointing you toward what truly matters in life. When caught in the whirlwind of overthinking, it's easy to lose sight of these guiding principles. Cognitive diffusion isn't just about stepping back from thoughts. It's about stepping forward into actions that align with your values. Imagine someone plagued by self-doubt before a big project. Instead of obsessing over the what-ifs, they could ask, "What's important to me in this moment?" This clarity transforms hesitation into purposeful action. Values give meaning to the choices we make. For example, if family is a core value, spending time with loved ones can ground you during moments of mental chaos. By consistently reconnecting with your values, you gain a sense of purpose that outweighs the noise of overthinking. The ongoing practice of diffusion. Like any skill worth mastering, cognitive diffusion thrives on practice. Think of it as exercising a muscle. The more consistently you work on it, the stronger it becomes. Daily moments, no matter how small, are perfect opportunities to hone this ability. Stuck in traffic? Observe your thoughts instead of fighting them. Worried about a deadline? Label the thought without judgment. I'm noticing the thought that I might not finish in time. Each practice session builds emotional resilience and rewires your brain toward healthier habits. Mindfulness is an invaluable companion here. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you create space to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them. What will you do now that you've discovered how to break free from negative thoughts? Will you let them control you, or will you take charge and live with clarity and purpose? Even small, consistent steps with these techniques can make a huge difference. Your mind is ready. You just need to guide it. Which strategies spoke to you the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't hesitate to ask questions. I'd love to help. Remember, change starts with one action. Let's begin together.